What's up, YouTube? In this video I'll show you how to get your current gen headset, whether it be Turtle Beaches, Astros, whatever you have, to work with your Xbox One controller. So with this, your mute functions will still work, your up and down volume on the chat will still work, and you do not have to take apart the controller at all, or the headset. So let's go and begin.
So for this to work, you'll need a couple things. You'll need your Xbox One headset, the one that comes with the console. You'll need some electrical tape. Any type of electrical tape will do. You'll need your chat cable from your headset, the one that comes from out of the controller that goes into your headset or your mix amp. A lighter. A knife or a razor blade or something that's pretty sharp. So with those things you can pretty much do the hack. But if you want it to look pretty and actually keep working for a lot of the time, the other things you're going to need is a soldering iron, a pair of wire cutters, some solder, and some heat shrink. If you're fairly good at soldering, the size of heat shrink you'll need will be 3/8, and if your soldering's not that great, you're going to want some heat shrink anything bigger than 1/4. So if you have one of the chat cables with a chat puck, you're just going to cut right before the chat puck. If you have one of the cables where halfway down the cable has one of the modules with the volume wheel and the on-off switch, you're going to cut on the side that goes into the headphone, shown in this diagram here. Next, grab your knife or your razor blade and slice the insulation covering the wires. When you pull back the wires, you should see 3 different wires. There will be a red, a white, and a bare wire. The red wire is for the speaker, the white wire is for the microphone, and the bare is for the ground. Now put that to the side and grab your Xbox One headset. Grab your wire cutters or your knife and you're going to cut just before the headset, just about 1 or 2 inches before the actual headset. Next you want to grab your razor blade and run it down the middle of the installation to reveal the wires that are inside of it. Be careful you don't put too much pressure on it, because you could actually cut the wires that are inside. Now once you have a slit down the middle of it, start pulling back the insulation to reveal the 4 wires. This may take some time to remove the insulation due to the fact that it's so tightly wrapped to the wires, so just take your time and keep itching away at the insulation, taking it off piece by piece. So when the insulation is removed, you should have something that looks like this. 1 blue, 1 bare, 1 black, and 1 white. So now we're going to go back to the Xbox 360 chat cable. Is pull about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of the insulation off of the red and white wires. As well as you're going to split the bare wire, which is your ground. By split it, take the wire and then make it into 2 wires, shown like this. So you can see that the insulation has been removed from the white and the red wire, and that the bare wire has been split into 2, which I will better show in this diagram shown here. So now it's time for the Xbox One cable, but these aren't like traditional insulated wires. They're actually acrylic coated, so the only way to get the acrylic off is to burn it. So grab the Xbox One cable, and then you're going to want to grab a lighter, and then depending on how good you're soldering, you're going to want to burn off at least 1/4 inch to 1 inch of the insulation. Make sure the whole thing doesn't catch on fire. Blow it out as soon as you see it gets lit. So, as you can see here, there's a little bit of black residue on it. That's from actually burning the acrylic. You're just going to want to keep wiping that off so there's none left on the actual wire. Repeat this process on the blue and white and black wires and do nothing to the bare. So what you should have now is something that looks like this. On the Xbox 360 chat cable, the white, red should have their insulation removed, and you should have split the 2 grounds. On the Xbox One headset, the white, blue, black should have the insulation removed, and you've done nothing to the ground on that side. So for the actual soldering part or twisting them together, this is what you're going to be doing. The 2 white wires will be connected together. The red and the blue wire will be connected together. One of the bares and the black wire will be connected together, and then the other 2 bare wires will be connected together. What you're going to want to do now is to go into an Xbox Live party with some of your friends. Make sure that all your connections are good and everything's good to go before we solder. So, just for recording wise, I have a headset for my PC. I'm going to put it inside of my Turtle Beaches. so they can hear the speaker coming through and them talking, and I'll be talking through the actual Turtle Beach mic. So we'll try this, put it inside the speaker. So Rocksteady, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, thanks man.
Yep.
So, as you can see, it's working great, and I'm ready to go solder it all together now. So if you're using heat shrink, this is the time you're going to want to put it on either side of the wires before you start to solder. So, once you got it all soldered together, make sure all your connections are good, go back into an Xbox Live Party, test again just to make sure everything's fine and ready to go. If it's all functioning good, place a piece of tape on each connection so they don't short each other out. After you finish that, wrap tape around every single connection tightly. If you slid the heat shrink on before you did your connections, slide it back up the wires over your connections and apply a lighter to it so it can shrink on the wires. So if you have this all together and it's not working, here's a little bit of troubleshooting for you. You can hear them, they can't hear you, which is a bad mic connection, which is the two white wires you put together have a bad connection. They hear you, but you can't hear them. Bad speaker connection. So the red and blue wire you put together, there's a bad connection there. If you try and talk through the mic and you get crazy noises or excessive amount of feedback, there's a bad ground connection. So either the two bare wires you put together or the bare and the black have a bad connection there. If all else fails, change the batteries in the controller or the headset. This actually happened to me. I was losing my mind because it would not work. Swap the batteries out, boom, worked first time. So, if you liked this video and it helped you, give me a thumbs up, put a comment in the comment section, and if it didn't, comment in the comment section. Let me know what's happening, if you're getting a certain feedback, if they can't hear you, and I'll help you troubleshoot it through it.